Hello, everybody. This is Ryan Eller, and we are on to the final step of the MIST application. So you've survived the first three, you've made it to the fourth quadrant, and naturally, this quadrant is the program materials quadrant. So this is a section of the application that admittedly where most of the work would probably take place off of Cal State Apply, and then you would really just be uploading documents that you've already completed. But I'll still talk about each of these documents so you have a pretty clear idea of really what we're looking for when we're reviewing applications. So firstly, let's navigate to the program materials section. So you have a couple of clicks here, and then you get on the landing page of this particular section of the application, which gives you an overview of our program, but also the required documents that you would need to apply and some further instructions if you are an international student. And I'll take a quick breather here to say that for our international students, really very little additionally is required for you to apply. However, there are some key documents required there, and I would recommend reviewing those. And if you have questions about those, don't hesitate to contact myself or our International Programs Office. Now, for all applicants, we would need an updated resume, preferably a professional resume or an academic CV, just dependent on the type of resume that you would have, and there's no preference between those two. Then you would provide either 2 letters of recommendation that have already been written. You could also provide the contact info for 2 recommenders for us to request letters of recommendation from them. And then there's also a link a little bit further into this application that you could provide to your recommenders if they prefer to fill out kind of a pre-selected form that we've created for recommenders as well. So multiple ways to meet that requirement of the application. Now, naturally, we do need unofficial copies of your transcripts at this point in the application. I generally recommend for students to also request their official transcripts and have those sent in while you're completing your application. But I do understand that some applicants want to know, am I going to be admitted first before I kind of go through that extra expense of collecting other documents? So if you do want to wait, that is absolutely fine. It just speeds up the overall kind of formal admissions process the sooner you send in your official transcripts. And then lastly, the statement of purpose is required. And this is a 1,000 to 2,000 word document that is essentially looking at why you want to apply to the MIST program, how you see yourself utilizing the degree, really what you think you can bring into the program in terms of skill sets. So really, this is an opportunity for you to kind of give us a narrative understanding of why the MIST program is a good fit for you and how you'll ultimately end up benefiting from this degree program. Now, as I said before, if you're an international student, there's some further instructions here, very much so something you'd want to go through if you find yourself to be that type of applicant. But otherwise, what you would do is click through to the questions link. And regardless of if you're an international student or not, you will have to fill out your name here. It's just kind of a quirk with the application. And then this is a non-required question, but it's helpful for us to understand kind of where did you hear about the MIST program? If you heard about it from me, you can just notate my name. If you saw it on the internet, on social media, that's good to know. It just helps us to better understand where our applicants coming from. So it's a little bit of data collection on our end. So after you've added your name and you've given us an idea of where you found us, you'd hit the save and continue. And from here, this is when you are going to work on the document section. So you can click on the document section and you can see here, it gives you a pretty good understanding of what those documents are, just as I described them before. And this is the Google link that you can provide to your recommenders that gives them an opportunity to fill out a recommendation form should they, not be sure what they want to include into a letter of recommendation. Most recommenders are really trying to help you. And so if they're unsure of what to provide, this is a great form to give them because it gives us all the information we would need about you as an applicant to help us make an informed decision and to also better understand you as an applicant. So that's an option as well. Now you'll see when you get down into the required documents section, it's really only going to ask you to submit 2 documents, a personal statement and a CV/resume. And what's important here is regardless of which you put, and I should say which type of document you put, it doesn't really matter where you put it. If you put your CV and resume in the personal statement, we're still just going to see your resume. It's not going to prompt us that it's a personal statement. And so what I'm getting at with this is that you can use as many of these drop boxes as you need. So let's say your personal statement and CV and resume you include here. Let's say you already have your letters of recommendation. You can just go ahead and put them under any of the additional optional documents drop boxes. The unofficial transcript, English language proficiency test, it doesn't matter where you put them. The system doesn't prompt us that this is XYZ document. It just gives us the document. So what I'm getting at here is that if you're somebody who wants to include awards or certifications, any document that you can think of that you think would benefit your program application, you can put them into any Dropbox and we'll still receive them with no prompting of what document type that they are. Okay, so I hope that's not confusing, but the point being is that you really have a good 10 additional document Dropboxes that you can use to provide as much information to us as you possibly could want to. Okay, so once you've included 2 documents, and you'll need to include 2 to move forward, so I'm just going to select any file on my computer and kind of move forward here. So I'm going to add a couple of PDFs that are just sitting on my desktop for the sake of helping you to see what the application looks like once you've completed it. And let's add this one again. And there you go. Now I should be done in theory with this section, even though I haven't included all of the documents that are required. So that is something you want to be a little careful of when completing this. So I'm all done at this point. It's not going to prompt you out. So what you would need to do if you ultimately are kind of completed with this, you can go back to the My Application, make sure that everything is green and go back through any of the sections to make sure that there's no issues. But once you're done with that, you can click on the Submit Application button, and you can see from there, it will prompt you to go ahead and click Submit, and you can click either of these 2 drop boxes, doesn't matter, or buttons, I should say. And ultimately, you'll be prompted through the payment screen. And at that point, your application will be complete and submitted to us so that we can access your documents. So hopefully you found this guide helpful. As I said before, if you need a deeper dive on each document, I would recommend going to our website and navigating to either the admissions blended or the admissions fully online links. You'll get all of the deadlines there and naturally a very deep dive into all of the different types of documents you provide, whether they're transcripts, statement of purpose, letters of reference, so on and so forth. Plenty of additional detail and context there if you need it. So once again, hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about the program or any questions about the application, do not hesitate to contact us at mist@csumb.edu or to give my office number a call at 831-582-4790. Best of luck with your application, and we look forward to seeing you in the fall. Take care.